Today is the story of an epic journey. I got to thinking about these stories involving Jim, and I think this is one story that has to be told, because this wasn't just, a mistake that lasted a little bit of time or was over in a few minutes. This was a mistake that went on for days and days and days. I think it was after my sophomore year in college. Jim and Uncle Joel and I come up with this idea that he had a Jeep then. We were going to take his Jeep and drive to see Mama and Papa in Alabama. Now, nothing terribly unusual about that, I suppose, except that we decided to not have a top on the Jeep. I don't remember the time of the year, other than I think it may have been mid to late summer, maybe. But anyway, public service announcement: never go on a 15, 16, 1700 mile trip with an open vehicle and have no way to cover yourself, because that's what we did. So Joel it was Jim, Uncle Joel, and me, and I was in Bemidji. They left from Carlstead, or from Stephen actually, and so that's about 125 miles away, so maybe 150 actually to Stephen. So they had an even longer trip than I did. But anyway, so they drove down, they picked me up, we left right away. Even though you would think it would be warm enough, it's got to be really, really warm to make it feel good when you're going 60 or 65 miles an hour down the highway in an open vehicle. And not to mention how unsafe. As far as I know, the front seats of the Jeep had seat belts, but I don't think they were wearing them, and I was sitting in the back. I don't know if there was a seat belt back there or not, but I certainly wasn't wearing it. And again, open top. Stupid boys. Anyway, so we go on this trip, and like the first evening we get somewhere in southern Illinois, and it's raining. I mean, pouring down rain. Everything gets wet. We're wet. Our luggage is wet. The stuff in our luggage is wet. We stop at this cheap little nasty roadside motel. We get a room with one double bed, so I had to sleep on the floor. Oh, by the way, the reason that I have to ride in the back and sleep on the floor and lots of other indignities is because I didn't have any money, and Joel and Jim were paying for everything. So I admit it. Anyway, so then we get up the next day. I think we probably finished the trip the next day. I really don't remember, but it was just miserable. So then we stay with my parents, I think, for maybe a week. But then we have to drive back. I mean, I can't explain. I don't think I could even remotely explain to you how miserable this trip was. You couldn't talk because it was so windy. You couldn't really relax because it was so windy and you were cold all the time. So then on the way back, my parents took pity on us and gave us some, well, I don't know if pity would be the right word, or they were just trying to get rid of old stuff, but they gave us some old coats and insulated coveralls and stuff like that. So we start back, and we take a different way on the way back. And so we came up, so on the way down we'd gone through Illinois, and on the way back I think we came up through Missouri or something, and Iowa. And then I remember going across South Dakota. Oh, there was this side wind that was just buffeting the Jeep. It was just coming straight across. So we were going straight north. This wind was coming from the west, and it was just so strong, and it just never stopped blowing. And then, of course, and again, upper Midwest, doesn't matter what time of the year it is, it can be cold. And again, it was cold. I don't know maybe in the 50s. But again, we're in an open Jeep. Stupid boys. So, and of course, at one point we ran out of gas on the interstate in South Dakota. We have to climb over a fence, walk to a farm. The farmer sells us some gas, surprisingly enough. So I think we get 5 gallons of gas, and we pay him something for it, and then we go on up the road. And oh my gosh, it was just a horrible trip. But, you know, part of what makes us us. So I think hopefully Jim and Joel will watch this. So thank you two for that memory. Love you.